Okie doke, what's up everybody? We're going into Diamond Bronze to GM. We're starting with the TVT here up against a 3500 MMR player. And I'm telling you, this is a big jump in skill. And we are changing the builds quite a lot for each matchup. We're in Diamond. We'd already started to add little variations and details in the matchups, but we are completely changing our builds now. So, to start off, we're going to be doing a double gas opening here in TVT. This matchup is probably, I would say, one of the more drastic departures, but this opening is going to keep us really safe. So we take a second gas right after that first gas with the next worker that pops out, and then we saturate that as soon as it finishes as well. So this is a double gas opening. We're going to go 2 Reapers into 2 Cyclones. Now, I am a little worried that the Cyclone changes from its current form, so you may need to make a few adjustments depending on if that Cyclone gets reverted or anything like that. Reaper's on the way, Orbital's on the way, and Celeste is there. Okay. So, when we get to 100 gas, okay, we do want to normally SCV scout as well, but I forgot to do that this game, so that's okay. We're going to have to do a non-SCV scout version. You want to build a factory the moment you get to 100 gas, and you want to pull some workers off gas. So you pull 2 workers off one off the other. We're going to just rally our Reaper there, build SCV, drop mule, queue a second Reaper. So we want to go straight for 2 Reapers, and then we want to go straight for Cyclones after that. Now, keep building SCVs as you normally would. Prioritize minerals just like you normally would. And rally this guy over there. Now, the moment we start that command center, we are going... Let's just set up our camera locations. We're going to put back on gas, okay? So, add to command center hotkey. Set the rally point, send to the camera location. Keep building these guys. Immediately back on gas. And we're going to start that Cyclone, okay? So we're just going to put these guys in a nice central position. It is okay to not scout. Just kind of keep them nice and far back if you can. Keep building SCVs. And we want to build a depot here, okay? Now, technically, you could go Starport before depot. And actually, we do want to get Ravens out pretty fast. Let's do that. We'll go Starport straight away, okay? And then we can build that depot. All right. So this is a pretty chilled out opening. It is a little bit blind, so I know it feels a little claustrophobic, but just build that second Cyclone there immediately. Keep making SCVs. And once you've got Cyclones out, I feel you can afford to be a little bit riskier. So we're going to A-move these Reapers around this right side, ready to jump in the main and have a scout, okay? And he's out here with his own Reaper. Oh. Okay, so let's hide them on that top right side of the map. Something just ran in there as well and died. Keep building SCVs, guys. Get a tech lab for Ravens, and we can rally to our natural now. Now, a lot of older builds, you would have gone for a third gas here. We're not going to bother with that. Just build Marines and build another tech lab, okay? Now, these Reapers, if we want, we've got them on our secondary key, these guys on our main key. They're going to jump in for a scout, and then we're just building Marines, Ravens, and then tanks, okay? So these guys are going to jump in. It's 2v1. They can kill it.
Add-on complete. Command center has been
Still trying to not do any fancy micro. I'm going to select my SCVs, get my things. Let's just scout through. Okay, he's got some Cyclones, and he's building either a Medevac, a Liberator, or a Viking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a Cyclone down here on the edge. We're building a siege tank right now. More Marines. More depots. Another depot there. Put those guys back. So this guy's here because if it's a drop or a Liberator, that's in position to stop it. And then everything else... It's going to be over here, and we're going to put the Raven on a different hotkey and just follow that. Let's get the second Raven. You also want to make sure that you make that interference matrix upgrade no later than starting the second Raven. Keep building Marines, tanks, and Ravens. Notice you're a bit gas starved on the tank production, but it is what it is. And when you get 400 minerals, you want to start a third command center. This is a very, very typical TVT build order. This is like very, very standard. And as you can see, there is a Liberator. If you see a Starport with no add-on, always put anti-air defenses on the edges, because whether it's a Medevac or a Liberator, they're usually going to come in from the edge. So that's just made our life so much easier than it otherwise would be. All right, guys, once you get the command center, we want to go double gas. We then want to build 2 barracks and 2 engineering bays, and then go back to mining. Put 1 more depot here. And we're just waiting for interference matrix. There we go, guys. We've got 2 tanks, 2 Ravens. And this is a push we're always going to go for every single game. So we're going to move across the map, tell the Ravens to follow a tank, And while they're moving to the staging point, let's macro. So macro cycles, SCVs and mules. Put guys on gas. Put guys on gas. We're going to swap these two buildings around. Factory and this the starport and the barracks. The factory. New words being invented. Let's start 1-1 upgrades. Let's start our 4th and 5th barracks. Cue them back to mining. Uh-oh. We ran into some enemies. Now we do want to be able to scan. Let's make an orbital. Let's scan. And oh, that's a pretty scary force. But outside of the Vikings, it's just 2 tanks. So if we move up here, look where his tank line is. We want to move to there. And then all we need to do is interference matrix the tanks and A-move. And then we can put an auto turret down and then run the Ravens home. And we're going to kill that other tank and then we're just going to fight here. Don't siege your tanks, guys. Unless it really makes sense to. If we can start a step away, that'd be good. Alright, so we did some really good damage there. We didn't quite win the game though. Reactor. Stim. We're building Vikings, tanks, more reactors. We're going to siege this tank up on the front. We'll put an SCV out front in case there is a counterattack. Build more SCVs. Drop mules. And after you've gone to 5 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, double engineering bay, it's always armory next. And you'll notice that times out perfectly, so we can start 2-2. We can also try and bring our 3rd base out now. As you can see, my natural's saturated. If you want to rally to it, select your command centers and right click. But wait a second, that just stopped it landing. So what you want to do, select your command centers, shift deselect the floating command center, and then right click them there to set the rally point. All right, lots of Marines, guys, tanks, and we're going to build 2 medevacs before going back to Vikings, okay? We're also going to repair the Raven. Do we scan to check if it's bio or mech? Oh, that's a very good point from chat. Yeah, usually you want to do it. We see it's bio. Cool. All right, we've got lots of Marines on the way. Gary and Bruce need to non-stop build depots from here, guys. Building lots and lots of Marines. You could see I was floating minerals there for a bit. So we're going to send out pairs of Marines. Now, why are you sending out pairs, Pig? The reason is, if he sends out single Marines, my pairs of Marines will kick their ass. So we're anticipating the vision battle that is so standard in TVT. We're now going to start 2-2. Ari and Bruce going to keep building depots. All right, let's try and stick to macro cycles if we can, guys. SCVs and mules. You can keep some mules, some scans available. That's good, but it's not necessary. And then we want to go Marines, and then tank, and then we want to go Vikings, right? Vikings. So we're out of gas for it. Then we go depots. Queue up extra, make sure we're good. And look, he's, as I said, my double Marines are killing his, but he just sent a dropout, which is going to clean that up. Let's grab all these units, guys. So you can just go like that and then put the Vikings and the Ravens separate. We're going to move these guys south to try and intercept him. We've got vehicle weapons. Let's get double gas. And we also want to build a 4th base. Now, I get this starts to get really expensive at this point. This is where a lot of players would say, okay, build sensor towers. Instead of sensor towers, I'm just going to build a few turrets around. We can get some sensor towers later. Add to the hotkey. Build a few Marines there. We're also going to put some Marines just around the edges. And we're just kind of putting more Marine spotters all over the map. Okay, back at home. Lots of Marines, tanks, and Vikings. Now, we forgot to make combat shields, guys. But let's build a factory here. And that can swap onto that tech lab once that's done. Now, after you start your 4th command center, guys, this one, you do want to go to 8 barracks as well. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Gary and Bruce, keep building depots, guys. Lower those ones so we can move around. All right, we're sending a few more Marines out to fight his Marines, guys. All right, we're building lots more Marines. Box these guys. Shift 2. Control click the Vikings. Alt 3. Put guys on gas. There and there. Where I can rally to the 4th. Build a few more SCVs. A few more Vikings. Turrets, sorry, I should say. Did we just see an army coming forward? No. Okay, so this is the point where he's escalating the map control. So we're just going to send a dropout to clear it.
Upgrade complete.
And all you need to do from here is just build tanks, Vikings, Marines, and try to get control of the air. Now we see he's moving out. My blob looks pretty similar to his blob. These guys are going to try to run in for a counterattack while his army is down here. So we're going to siege like that, guys. So we're going to stim, A move, and we're going to drop interference matrices on the tanks. Now, notice we're out of tank range, so usually what you do there is you click the tank and then run away. Back to our tanks, okay? I drop on the other side that I A moved in. Looks like it's cleaned up, no worries. Macro cycle. SCVs, mules, cancel and build planetary. Lots of marines, lots of tanks, lots of Vikings. Now, let's do the swap. Lift, build a reactor, lift on that. Build 3 reactors, build 2 depots. Those are the last depots we'll need because we're max supply. So now we can do other things. Grab half the workers from the main, move them to the 4th, take 2 gases. Control click idle workers, move them to the 4th. Make +3, make +3, make +2. And we just won a fight. So you might be wondering, well, isn't your map control a bit lacking? Absolutely, guys, it totally is. But I don't think that's the end of the world. So we can make more tanks, more Vikings, more Marines now. I didn't control click these barracks properly. Whoops. Rally order the front. All right, so now we can once again
Add-on is up and running.
send out A move, deselect 2. A move, deselect 2.
Add-on complete.
Remake my army, and you'll notice I just sent a lot of scouts out. Oh, whoa, okay, we're running into him. We're gonna stim, we're gonna siege. Pull back, pull back. I don't know how big his army is, guys. I haven't had a chance to look at this. Hold position, chill. That's what I get punished for, taking too long to regain map control, okay? Is he... Okay, he's just pulling his army back, no worries. Whoo! Booyah! More Marines, more tanks, and you know what? I've had the Viking advantage for a while. We can use that by building Liberators. Shift 2,
Nothing
Shift
left in
3.
that mineral cluster.
Put on gas, put on gas. Now at this point, you absolutely can just build a few sensor towers around, guys. But let's go out with some of these Marine spotters. Let's unsiege the tanks. Now at this stage, it gets hard to track where their army is and you're maxed. So you have nothing at home to defend. This is where you dump a tank, shift siege. Dump a tank, shift siege. And you make sure drops can't get into your main either. So the reason for that is just leaving a few tanks around is going to make me much safer, guys. We can build a few turrets as well out front, just so he can't come in on the front. And that's going to allow me to run my army around in a blob without being as afraid of kind of what he can do to me. Now, here we've got a Liberator, which is kind of an annoying unit to use. So I'm actually dumping it so it's not on an army key and it just follows a tank. This is a little technique I like to use. Now, we've got 3-3, we've got +2 vehicle weapons on the way. There's really nothing to do but build command centers if you've got money. So what you want to do is you want to just go like this. Command center, command center, command center, command center, command center, command center. I know it seems silly. It's worth it. Oh, he tried to come in and luckily I built that ring of turrets, guys. All right, let's try and get this. So we're going to stim A move, siege the tanks, and we're going to try and use some interference matrices on the tanks as well. I managed to get 3 off before my Ravens died. Obviously, I've got some very good reactions compared to my opponent. This is a drastic departure from how we've played in Platinum. You guys aren't going to play this well. You guys are going to suck. Do not expect to play anything even close to this well. And that's totally fine. But we're seeing that it's a very different style of TVT that's more like what you see the pros do, but I'm showing it to you at a slower pace. So this is a very big step forward in terms of how to play StarCraft like this. But I think it's really good because what we do when we make this step to proper Diamond StarCraft, and you can absolutely stick with those new builds all the way through Diamond 3, even Diamond 2 potentially. But it's going to take us a while to learn, so the earlier we embrace learning these harder builds, the better we're going to get. So let's keep building Marines here, building tanks, and with all these command centers, notice I just went around control clicking them and shift adding them to my command center hotkey. You don't need to worry about doing anything else. All you do is every now and then you build a new command center, rally there, and grab workers from bases that are oversaturated to click. And then every now and then, once all those command centers are finished, you just tab, and you hold down that orbital button. And I just made like 6 orbitals at once. Now we can scan forward. We can see our opponent's army. I have 3-3 and +2 vehicle weapons. He doesn't have any tanks. So there shouldn't be anything he can do. We're just going to scan, move right up, siege these tanks, and that should be game.
Mineral field
Alright,
depleted.
so now we're going to start leapfrogging, guys. Rather than moving everything at once, we'll just move these tanks forward like that. We can siege the Liberator like so. And we're just gonna... Oh, my Marines are in the way, so my tanks didn't move forward the way they were supposed to. Alright, we're gonna move the whole army forward, guys. We're gonna stim, A move, and siege. It's a little bit of a brave move. We just want to kill those tanks on the left and then pull back with these Marines. Do lots of scans, which you have unlimited scans. That's what that Iron Bank is, guys. If you float 4,000 minerals, that's amazing.
Upgrade is ready for use.
Alright, now we can just grab these tanks, move off there. Build more Marines. Grab these guys. Shift 2. These guys are going to move up like that. And run a few Marines up front. Try and help support those tanks. As long as we don't run all of our Marines in a ball into tank lines, we should be good. And we can just kind of march these tanks forward at this point. I think there was a tank just there, right? Yeah. Can't let that happen. Oh! Oh, battle cruisers, what? Alright guys, I'm grabbing all these Marines and... Oh my god, he's trying to come down here. Okay, we're going to send back the Vikings. I never built more starports, so let's build 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to minerals. I have building armor, so his battle cruisers don't have any upgrades. Let's make sure we get ship weapons though, and a second armory to get armor upgrades for those as well in future. Marines are in the production. And with Vikings, guys, you want to start a step. So you want to pull back, A move. Pull back, A move. Pull back, A move. Pull back, A move. If he's just standing there or you significantly outnumber, you don't need to bother. And that's the way we do all of that stuff. All right. More Marines, more tanks, more Vikings. Box, shift 2, box, shift 2. Control click the Viking, shift 3. That's an orbital. We'll build a few turrets around it. And we'll try and make more command centers at these new bases to make into planetaries. But in the meantime, if you're ever short on money, guys, you can even rapid fire it. And you're going to see that my income's going to be what I would refer to as effing disgusting. And that's the power of, if you do ever float a ton of money, you've got control of the map, one of the best ways to win, just build 7 command centers at once. 7 times 4, you need 2,800 minerals to build that, and then you need another over 1,000 minerals to upgrade them all to orbitals. But if you're super rich and in control, it gives you map hacks. It gives you, oh, I lost all my SCVs. That's okay. I can drop 30 mules and mine 5,000 resources. It just gives you like this kind of unstoppable late game. So the Iron Bank, I've been calling that for many years, is when you get more than 10 orbital command centers. And it's just a disgusting, disgusting point in the game where Terran hits their kind of imbalanced late game point. It's hard to get there normally, but it's a nice, easy way to get into a really good winning position. Now, this is a big departure from earlier play. Don't get me wrong. Let's go back to the build order and let's take a look at it because this is a huge step forward. It's exciting. It's fun to show you guys this, but I really like 2 Reaper, 2 Cyclone because the Cyclone's a little bit more solid than Hellions in terms of it's not really vulnerable to much stuff. And it's good. Pig, I think switching the second factor into the Shields Tech Lab can be very punishing if Shields is late and it requires 8 PM at a time when it lacks. Even some pros don't do it. Spirit. Just get a second factory once our third is finished. Yeah, you don't need to put it on the tech lab. You can just build the factory at the same time I did it, but don't bother swapping it around. The only upside of doing it this way is it does remind you to remember to make sure your combat shields is done before you do it, which is really nice. So that's a very good point. So I think one of the really key points here is with the Raven, guys, you do want to start Interference Matrix soon after the first Raven starts. The other thing is if we don't build a third gas, we are lacking tank production. So I think we're going to do this with a third gas. I was thinking of doing a 2 gas version because it might be easier, but I think it weakens the build. So let's go up here to our TVT. So in terms of this build, it's going to be a double gas opener, 2 Reaper, 2 Cyclone into 2 Ravens plus Interference Matrix. So what we can do is we can just write up that whole opening. And there's a transition after the opening as well. 3rd command center, 2nd and 3rd barracks, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so let's actually write the actual build notes. This is kind of a summary, I guess. Okay. So the way this build works, guys, barracks. So we're still gonna, the question is, should we SCV scout with this build? We probably don't need to bother. It would help a lot against like proxy marauder and stuff. So I guess we probably still will. Barracks gas, into 2nd gas, right? 16 racks, 16 gas. Is it 17 the second gas? I don't know exactly. Basically, you just take it with the next worker. So I think it might actually technically be an 18 second gas. It goes down to like 53 seconds or something.
SCV ready.
It is a 17 gas on 55 seconds. 17 second gas at 0.55. And then at 100 gas, we want to make a factory. The racks is going to go for 2 times Reaper, Reactor, and then Marine production. The factory is going to do 2 Cyclones, Tech Lab, tank production. Factory plus pull 3 workers off gas. And then we also want to build a second depot right then, which should be 21 second depot as well, right? I believe that's 21.
Our SCVs are under fire.
20 supply. And I guess the factory was also 20, right? Yeah. 20 supply at 100 gas factory. Second depot. And then 400 minerals. CC should be about 2 minutes 20. Oops. Plus put back on gas fully. Then we want to go starport. And then the depot. Starport plus depot goes down next. So we go starport and then we go depot right after that. Yep. And then we basically want to get a 3rd gas probably then as well, right? Soon after. So 3rd gas, you want to start that.
Thanks for the Bezos.
CC should be about 75% complete when you start it.
Add-on complete.
And the starport, of course, is going to go for Tech Lab, Raven plus Interference Matrix, and another Raven. All right, Raven, starport, yep. Okay, and then we could push with 3 tanks rather than 2. Imagine if I had my 3rd tank when I pushed, I win this game with that push. Without having to do the fancy macro stuff later on. And that's good because it allows you to get reps on the early game.
Add-on complete.
And that should be good.
Command center has been upgraded.
Alright, so I did waste a bit of time attacking Vikings. I probably should have moved in and focused the tanks a little bit better here. But yeah, you can imagine if I had a 3rd tank, that would have been pretty sick. Now, this is the I'm going to shove in execution. There's a different way I could have done this exact same move, which probably would have been the safer way of doing it, guys. So the safer way of doing this exact same move is... Oops. We do the same thing. We flank with the Ravens because we saw the Vikings are out front. So we can't fly through the Vikings. All I needed to do is move my tanks here, just in range, and just siege my tanks in range. And then we'd be totally fine. The problem is because he has Vikings, I'm going to need to scan to keep vision, potentially. But basically, then I can just kill the tanks, pull back, and have a nice tank advantage. And then you could rotate over here, you can siege on that ledge if you want, or you can just contain them down here, or you can just go home. But you've already taken a good fight. But in general, I think we're going to do the interference matrix, the tanks, and just shove everything forward. And that's going to be a really nice way to crush. Yeah. Sieging the gases from the 3rd. Potentially, but only if we see something that looks really scary. The reason this didn't look that scary is because there wasn't much support. So when our push arrived here, there was just no Marines. So the problem our opponent had is they have 2 Cyclones, but they're not with their army. So the thing is, think when I scanned, they still hadn't pulled the Cyclones. So if Celeste F2'd and pulled those forwards, had 2 Cyclones, 6 Marines there, it'd be different. But, you know, I'm here with 10 Marines. They've got 2. I've got 2 Cyclones. They've got no Cyclones there. We've got equal tanks, and the Vikings just aren't that good unless they stop my Ravens, which I know they're not going to. So definitely an awkward position for Celeste. Okay, everybody, we're playing our first TVP here in Diamond against MK LOL. Now, the new Cyclone's a lot of fun, and we're going to be using that. Keep in mind, if the Cyclone gets changed from when you've seen this, doesn't build 2 at a time out of a reactor, just go for a double Widow Mine drop instead. But what we're going to be doing is a 2 Cyclone drop in the opponent's mineral line, because they kill probes so fast. And it's very flexible. If you can also pick off stalkers and stuff, like once you're in a probe line, it kind of forces the enemy to scramble to defend. So one of the best things that we can possibly do. Now, we're still SCV scouting in this matchup. You could argue you can get away without it. Actually, no, we're not going to SCV scout. Sorry, I forgot. Something that's very popular in pro play right now, and I've decided, hey, we're in Diamond, we might as well learn from the pros. And hey, that SCV gets to defend the probe. So it was all planned, guys. Is we're going to build 2 Marines after our Reaper, and this makes us safe even though we're not SCV scouting against 99% of stuff that can happen. So we're also going to use our Reaper to scout around for proxies, and that's going to really help us out as well. So we go Reaper Orbital, guys. We're just going to go like that and then like that. There we go. And then as long as we get this command center down, we should be happy. Alright. And we can add that to the camera location, set the rally point, and this guy can go back to build the depot. 3rd base, 4th base, and 5th base up the top, I guess. Alright. Looking good, guys. Build SCV, drop mule, build Marine, and then we're going to build another Marine as well. And look at that, a free probe kill, guys. Isn't that nice? Bit tricky for my opponent trying to recall that. Now, we're just sending the Reaper all around my side of the map before it goes across to the enemy side. We can get that factory starting. Probably should have already started by now, but it is what it is. And we get the bunker going. We then get the 2nd gas up next. We haven't scouted any proxies, which is good, guys. Really important to look for those nearby gateways. And then we can go across the map and we can scout with that Reaper and hopefully see the tech. Alright, so we're going to go for the reactor next. If you guys let the adept in a lot, just raise this depot now. If you're fast enough to reactively do it, that's great. But make sure you keep that rally point camera location there so you can react and do that. And look at that, guys. It is a robo first build. Okay, so we're going to see if we can do some grenades. But there's an adept on us. There's an adept on you. Just run away, okay? So we're just going to hide him in the top and go back to macroing. SCVs and mules. Build a cyclone. Cancel that SCV and make an orbital. Those guys in the bunker. And we're going to get a starport as well. So we're going to get a medevac out. Notice we're fully saturated so we can rally to the natural. So all we're doing is building Marines. And we're going to get 2 cyclones and then a medevac. Now, this medevac is going to be late. It's going to slow down this push because that starport was late. So remember to queue your factory SCV to build the starport. Oi, oi. You can pull the weaker SCV away, do it, guys. And you can always get the cyclone and just click it on the adept shade if you can. Otherwise, just A move in the direction that it's going. And there we go. We can F2 back to the front. Build a medevac. Build a depot. Alright, we're just building SCVs right now, guys. Now we want to try and get few more Marines, few more SCVs and mules. This build is not executed very tight, but that's okay. We can build another spotting depot up there. And this is where, if you've got money, you want to go 2nd and 3rd barracks. And then we want to go tech lab, okay? Alright, so we're going to move across with these units, guys. And we'll rally the medevac out and then go for a tech lab, okay? So we're just going to move across the middle with everything we've got. Behind it, build SCVs. Get Gary to just build another depot in the main. We can get these barracks, hotkey them. We can get an engineering bay. And then we can go double gas on the natural, okay? More SCVs and mules. Build a tank, build a Raven, build Marines. And let's go forward. So we want to put the Cyclones in the drop, and we're going to queue that to go drop in the main base. And the other units are going to go to the 3rd. or try to run into the natural and do some damage that way. So the Reaper's in front. We've got them all on 2 different control groups. And you can see here, these guys are going to get in. And then these guys are just going to click to the mineral line. And all you want to do is say, okay, if he responds... Oh, I didn't have the Cyclones on the hotkey. Big mistake. So we're just going to run away with that. And then these guys are going to run in and just try to focus down some probes. But notice our opponent played really safe here. So we didn't do any damage. That's really rough. Lift these off. Lift those 2 barracks onto the tech labs. Macro cycle. SCVs, mules. Build marines, stim, shields. We're going to get +1 weapons. Put guys on gas. Gary and Bruce can be building depots, but more importantly, we're going to do a 5 barracks transition. We're going to do a 2 base bio all in. Now, if you really want to get fancy, you can drop again and see if you can do damage. Because there's shield batteries, I think that's a bad idea. Put the marines there. Put the tank on the high ground. We're going to start building marauders as well as our marines, because we've already got enough gas for everything else, I think. Just the last few SCVs, guys. Marauders, marines, widow mines, medevacs, depots, full macro cycle. Control click these barracks, cue these guys back to mining. We can repair both of those. Shift click repair both. And we can also look around for observers, right? So, look at that. That's nice. Okay. 1 more tech lab, 1 more reactor. Tech lab, marauder, marine. Widow mine, medevac. Oh, thank you so much, Patrick Ryan, for keeping the Terran Bronze to GM alive. Really appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you.
Don't give up on B2GM. Add a cheese build. Stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese. Thank you, man. All right, so something you can do here as well is widow mine drops, but we're going to do that later. For now, we're going to stick to like a really simple version of the build. We know it's Colossus, so what we want to do is we want to move forward. We'll bring the tank as well, because lots of marauders, lots of marines. Make sure we get concussive. And once you've got a bunch of medevacs, you could go Vikings, but we're actually going to go for the pure medevac version.
Upgrade is ready for use.
Woo! Now, I did not make pull back right now, guys. That's very scary. So we're going to send a drop across the map onto what I assume is a 3rd base. We're going to just chill here, put the marines in there, and pull the marines back. We did not want marines getting hit. Lots of marauders, lots of marines, widow mines, and medevacs. Now, why do we want medevacs, guys? The reason we want medevacs... Oh my god.
Research complete.
Alright, we're also going to send the Raven across the map to do some harass as well, because that's another thing. So we're going to dump that. So this one's going to come in here, and the Raven's going to go in the top. Okay, I wanted to do lots of counter drops. Box these guys and stim them, guys. You also select the bunker and stim that. There's a few more widow mines here. If they really try to push in, you can repair the bunker as well. But we're going to leave it. Alright, these guys are going to get pushed back and come home. Lots of marauders, lots of marines. And we'll start building more Vikings just to help kill those Colossus. Alright, guys. This whole army is going to move forward through the front with these guys. Tell that to unload. Depot, do a supply drop. And our Raven's going to come by, and it's going to do a double drop of turrets. And it's going to drop 1 behind the natural as well. Oh, we ran into his army. Okay. Well, that was lucky. That's very lucky. Okay, I think we win the game now. For some reason, there was no zealots or anything there. I'm building more fire, more medevacs right now. And we can just borrow these widow mines. Looks like he was going for Psystorm. And if we can just move in here, we're just going to grab some of the units and go after the Colossus. Looks like they kill it.
Mineral field depleted. Nothing left in that mineral.
I'm not sure if he's up. I don't think he's upgrading Storm, guys. And we're going to pick those guys up, drop them in. Maybe a little fancy, that pickup. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It looks like he didn't make Psystorm by the looks of it. So we might want to just leave, guys. And the reason is he's kind of outnumbered me and we've already done damage. Speak of the devil. Let's try to run those guys out. A little bit clean for low diamond for sure in terms of how I'm controlling, but that's okay. The whole idea with this style is all you're meant to do is doom drop over and over again and try to catch them out of position because you don't have the front-on units. They've got the range advantage with the Colossus. Auto repair on the mules. So these guys are going to doom drop that main again in about a minute while this army hits the bottom. So you attack main army on the third, drop in the main, and you kind of go from there. Now we can always just lift this third whenever we feel like it and move out. For now, lots more Marauders, lots more Marines, more Medevacs, more Vikings. I'm going to build a third command center, a fourth command center, sorry. We're also going to move that, control click the workers, send them there, build new gases. And build a few more depots. Alright, so we've got these guys are all on this control group, guys. They're going to go back in the main. And then these guys are all down here. We're going to scan. And we're going to try and just stand and fight. We want to get away from the High Templar, guys. If we're in storm range, we need to be pre-spread or we need to just leave. So we're going to try to pick up even before the storms came down because we knew that was going to happen. But we waited a bit long. So let's micro in the main now.
Mineral field depleted.
And we're just going to try and fight these zealots. That looks like an okay fight. So let's look over here. That looks like an okay fight until the zealots come. And now we're going to try to go back to the south. Shift click back there. Press boost. We did win the fight in the main. These guys are going to stem. And it looks like the medevacs should try and leave now.
On my way.
Okay, guys. And those guys are doing damage there as well. So this is where we're not even using control groups at this point because it got so messy. We're just clicking on the map for wherever we need to go. Cool feedbacks from my opponent. Let's build F2. I'm going to A-move to here, guys. Which has reminded me that I have a Raven. So that Raven
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
is going to drop some auto turret there, and then it's going to drop another one back there. Now if I F2, I can shift click so I don't have the Raven selected. Grab everything. And I think he's coming to counterattack me.
Looking forward to it.
More Marauders, more Marines, more Widow Mines, more Vikings. If we go for a longer game, we do need an Engineering Bay and an Armory. Want +1 armor. We're going to grab half of these workers, send them to the fourth. We'll make an orbital or a planetary up to you guys. I'll go planetary, it's usually safer. Put guys on gas. The Raven somehow is still alive, I don't know how. Worker count is only 47, so we've been very all in this game, for sure. Alright. Let's go forward now. And I think we push the natural, because it looks like the bottom is probably most defended. Let's just send a Marine down here. I saw a probe going down there earlier. Is there a base mining? If so, he's still got a shot in this game. Ah, he does have an economy. Okay. So we're just going to click a probe, click another one. That's all right. If we get the production in the main, it doesn't matter. More Marauders, more Marines building, guys. Oh, run away. We don't have... So, yeah, we don't have a way of getting through the Psystorm, guys. So what we want to do, load up the drops, steal them onto a different key, boost them off, and then these guys are going to run south to that bottom base. So we force him to defend the middle, and then we split to the flanks. These guys just unload there, like I said. These guys go there. Queue up lots of Marauders and Marines, lots of Widow Mines, lots of Vikings, Liberators, Medevacs. And then we get out of there. So we stayed too long. There's just no need, guys. Scan ahead. If you see them coming, you don't need to take so long. These guys as well. Run, 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 run. What are his upgrades? He's on 1-1. So pretty similar upgrades. But we're just throwing away armies into Storm for no reason. So this is actually a good lesson. Because I'm not kind of doing my killer instinct stuff. I'm trying to play slower, but I'm actually playing stupider by doing it. Let's build 3 more barracks. Make sure we have some production. And if you're far enough ahead, you've got money, build another command center. Why not? So what we want to do is you want to always scan ahead. You see them coming, you pick up, and you leave. Remember, the whole point of drops is to keep your opponent busy. It's not to try and force damage. Likewise, here, these guys are going to group up, keep building medevacs. Oh my god, we're out of medevacs. Oh god. It's really dangerous, actually. I could throw this whole army away. We're going to attack this bottom side, try to come in from there, and see what we can do. scan ahead. If you see them coming, you either pre-spread set everything up to take a good fight, or you just get out of there before they get there. But you never sit in a clump, stare at them, wait for them to drop the storms and the feedbacks, and then react. That's what we call being a dumbass. Now, he stopped building Colossus, so these Vikings aren't much use. I'm just going to leave them in reserve. We're going to siege a Liberator, and we're going to grab these guys, stim up, and hopefully there's not much here. So notice we're setting up a bit of a pre-spread, trying to punish him as best we can, for not being in position. Notice we're just trying to spread out here so the storms can't be effective. I'm not focusing on his army, I'm just trying to spread my units out, okay? I didn't hold position them, so they still end up getting kind of baited out of position a little bit, but it is what it is. So we killed a lot more units there. I don't know if the Vikings are enough to really do anything else. Maybe? Oh, they might be able to, actually. This drop can probably go in. We're just going to drop on the natural. Vikings are going to come in now. Vikings are going to run back. Build tech labs on these 3 barracks. More Marauders. Let's get ghosts. Let's get 2/2 upgrades. We've been very slow to transition. And this is what's going to happen. If you go more aggressive, more all in, you'll have games where you really hamstring your opponent, but then you can't quite finish them off. And it's important to just take a moment, build a planetary. Add to the command and hotkey, rally down there, build a few SCVs, you know? Okay, grab a bunch of these workers, send them down to this 5th base. Make the 2/2 upgrades. Add some ghosts, which we're going to be doing momentarily. I'm waiting for that Ghost Academy. And then look at this, guys. Ghost. Lots of ghosts being built now. Okay, I'm going to send a Liberator down around the very bottom of the edge of the map. And then it's going to come in behind the 3rd and siege up on there. Okay, cool. I'm still building Widow Mines. More bio, more ghosts. Okay, cool. Now, what do I need to do, guys? I just need to make sure he doesn't have expansions. And as long as that's the case, I'm winning. We can send another Liberator in just to siege on that base. That's always going to get value. Some scouts on the bottom just to see what's going on.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
More Widow Mines, more Medevacs. All right. Let's do it, guys. This is great. So now you can see I'm actually almost maxed out. I'm going to have 2/2 upgrades. My army just jumped massively in strength. And to be fair, we should probably build turrets everywhere because DTs could come in and ruin my day as well, right? I don't actually have turrets right now. So that Raven is still there, by the way. Oh no, he ambushed me! Oh, we sat too close to the front, guys. Oh no. Really good storm ambush for him. Great job. We had an observer on me. But our Raven is still being what I like to call a dickhead. He's going to drop auto turrets. Now, we can try to spread our units out here, guys, and deal with this. Let's try and land some EMPs. Run away. Tab. Stim. I don't think he has any more Psy Storms. So we might actually be able to win this fight now. More Marauders, more Ghosts, more Marines. Do another stim because I think that one's out. And it looks like that finally wins us the fight. Very sloppy way to finish it. If I tracked where his army was, dropped EMPs in the middle of those High Templar and Archons, it would have been game over a while ago. The bigger thing which delayed me though is when you're doing multi-prong. This is, remember guys, when you do multi-prong like here, why was I still here? Like, you got to just look at it and say, wait a second. I guess this was really lucky for me. All of his Zealots and Stalkers kind of separated from his army. Bad luck. And we push in and we do great damage. So I know his army's coming in after me. I see it with my Widow Mines. I know about it. I've done crazy damage. Why don't these units already just move up the ramp? And why aren't these guys up in top of the probes already, right? It takes me longer to move up than I should. If I was going to focus the Nexus, focus the Nexus. These drops also should have probably moved south just to give him more things to worry about. And then it's like, why am I dropping? Just pick up and leave. You've done so much damage. Let the army heal, rejoin it, go home and macro. And imagine if I kept this whole army alive to drop back here in a minute while this army hits the bottom base. It is game over. So this is what we call getting a stiffy. And don't get me wrong, we were doing a very aggressive 2-base play where you're always getting stiffies and getting excited. But just remember, there are times to embrace the stiffy and go hard. And there are times to waistband it and just tuck that bad boy up and nobody will notice, even though you're doing a presentation in front of class. GG's. Let's benchmark when our first Cyclone drop hit, by the way, because that should be much earlier than it hit. So you can see we took a while to get the Cyclone drop to hit. It hit at about 5 minutes, and then my opponent was playing super safe on 2 base. And this is actually a scenario. If your opponent has shield batteries, immortals, stalkers on both bases, we do not need to pressure here. This is technically the worst case scenario where I probably, if I scouted ahead with my Reaper or something and saw this, I could have just backed off. And I should have left here early. The mistake I made is I didn't put the Cyclones on the same control group as the medevac, so I selected the hotkey, right-clicked the medevac, and I basically right-clicked the medevac on itself, which does nothing. And then I was like, oh, whoops, and then I had to box the Cyclones to load them in. Slight mistake for me. The Marines and the Reaper also didn't do much as well, but despite a failed pressure, we swap our add-ons around, we get stim shields, we swap into biomine, and don't get me wrong, this is the point in the build, guys. Up to here is always the same. If you want to do a macro version, you can drop a 3rd command center now, and that's totally fine. To go 3rd command center, you can go Ghost Academy or 2nd Engineering Bay Armory, but more importantly, I go 4th and 5th barracks because we're doing a very simple 2-base follow-up, because this is such an advanced build order compared to what we're used to doing. We're getting used to using the Raven to hunt observers and then harass with it. We're doing a Cyclone drop with some Marine pressure on the ground. The opening's a bit more detail-oriented. There's a lot of things going on here that are really going to take a lot to learn. All right, guys, we're playing a TVZ now. We're going to be trying to do a 6 Hellion into a Liberator pressure. Our depot was a bit late because we forgot to rally that, but that's okay. Let's get focused here on Golden Aura. So rallying these SCVs onto the minerals. We're going to go for the barracks. We've got the 2nd base there. 3rd base probably up there. And then 4th here, 5th there. So you get a pretty chill expansion pattern. That 3rd base is arguably the hardest to defend. I'm not really sure. The only problem with this 3rd is there's like nowhere to run. If an attack comes in, you're kind of trapped. That's why I don't really like it. Ooh, sorry guys, that gas is really late. What am I doing? All right, we're gonna have a messed up build this game, and that's good. It's gonna slow things down a bit, make things a little less optimal, and drag my skill level down a little bit, which is good. I try to make things as clean as possible. We do need to make sure, of course, these guys go straight onto gas. We pull that dude off and then tell him to mine. And just get up to 19 workers. So this is going to delay the Reaper coming out by quite a bit. Now what you could do here, and we're going to scout with our barracks SCV, by the way. And then you rally this guy down to build the command center. So new SCV scout timing here. And we're going to build a Marine, then a Reaper. It's a very weird way of doing it, I know, but this is going to keep the build timings to line up the same, because normally we go Reaper, then Marine. So it's going to make it, at least on the barracks build time, a little bit more similar to what we're used to. We build the command center, we then build the depot, and this is our depot builder. This is our guy that does everything. So we'll start the Reaper up next, just to make the builds line up, just for consistency's sake more than anything. We can try to push that back, and we see the naturals finishing at 2 minutes. So we know it's a normal build, a hatchery first build, okay? Now this depot builder, not even depot builder, this is just the production builder. This is the everything builder. After the depot's done, you build the factory. Even though you have money a bit early to build that, and we're not going 2nd gas, we're doing a 3 command center build. Now, we'll let that Overlord survive. We'll be nice to Leora here, and that Reaper's going to go across the map. Normally this would be Reaper, then Marine, then Reactor, but we're just doing it in slightly different Bizarro world order due to my early game mistakes. Cool. All right, so this guy can return those minerals and then build that. So the important thing is start that 3rd command center before your Reaper micro starts happening. Queue him back to minerals, and then we can just chill. So we see some things here. No worries. We're just going to scout for a 3rd base and then pull him back. We don't want to get too much done with him. Let's get the orbital. So cancel the SCV. Rally on. And we can now get a starport.
Add-on is up and running.
We can swap these around. And we can get a 2nd gas with the starport as well. We always go 2nd gas along with it. And we didn't see a 3rd base, guys, so we're going to just very quickly check one more time, and if we don't see it,
Command center has
we will
been
scout
upgraded.
to try and see if there's sign of an all-in coming. Let's put 2 guys on gas. Put a few more SCVs, a few more thingos. We're going to build a tech lab there. It's okay if you idle and wait on that tech lab. That's totally fine. And we're just going to keep building Hellions, okay? Normally our Hellions will join up with our Reaper on the other side of the map if it's alive. If it's dead, that's totally fine. So we've seen a Roach Warren here.
Yeah, baby.
Add-on complete.
Feels like something very aggressive. Because there's no lair, there's no second gas, and oh my gosh. Okay, guys. So we need to build cyclones. We're also going to try to build a bunker on the high ground. So we're just going to chill. We're also going to get a Banshee for safety. Because we see so few drones, so we're being all in. All of our SCVs can come up here. We can raise the depots once that happens. Thank you, Rooster! Rooster! Thank you very much for the 20 bucks. And the only thing we might be missing is there could be a gold base in the bottom left corner.
GM, yeah, baby. How much for a BM to GM? XD.
Our base is under attack.
Baby, how much for... Jesus. All right, guys. We can put the Marines in there. We can bring all these guys, put them on auto repair.
Command center has
We're
been
going to try and repair the depots here as best we can. And... Ooh, the repair on the depots is not good, so we'll have to pull back a little bit here. But I think that's okay. Banshee can go there. Make sure our non-SCV units are on a hotkey so we can micro them if need. Move back, shoot, that sort of stuff. Remember, always build cyclones against any aggression. Keep building SCVs. Keep building depots as well. We can drop a supply drop there. And you can see this is a complete hold. We can F2A move the front now. We can move this command center back down there. That SCV on there. And these SCVs, all of them. So if you control click like this and go back to mining, that's bad because notice it selects those guys. So you want to move your screen like that, then you can control click these workers and click them on. So we're going to send everything except the Banshee across the map for a counterattack, guys, the Hellion Cyclone. And there's even a queen here, so this looks like it's pretty much game over. And then we're just going to... So we'll move 3/4 of the way across the map, leave the Banshee for safety. And then what do? Rally to the natural, hold down the SCV key. Whenever you've been disrupted, most important thing is a macro cycle. Build a tech lab. We want this to go build another reactor. We want that to go build another reactor, because that's what we normally do in the build. We want to build barracks, depot. Engineering bay. Third and fourth gas.
Add-on is up
More SCVs, more mules. Engineering bays get hotkeyed. Barracks get hotkeyed. Those guys get queued back to mine. We get stim started. Fourth and fifth barracks also want to get hotkeyed. Control click, add to control group. Alright, put these guys on gas. And now we want to conscript Gary and Bruce to start the depot wall-offs.
Add-on
This
complete.
guy can go there. Okay, let's go.
Add-on is up and running.
Alright, let's have a little poke, see if we can do some damage now while everything's just there. So we've got a good counterattack force. We could have probably already done crazy damage with it, but I had so much macro to fix up. And look, he's massing roaches. There's no need to fight that. If we want, we can, but we really don't need to. So we can move a Banshee forward on the map, build some more depots here, lower these, get this third base out there. Now remember what we do, select your command centers, but don't right click there. Shift deselect the lifted command center, and then rally point. Let's get 1-1 going. Let's get 2 more reactors going. Combat shields, make concussive straight away. Marauders, Marines, Widow Mines, Medevacs. Lower the depot, rally to the front. These cyclones can add to my control group and A move there. Can sell that bunker. Gary and Bruce can start walling off our third base. I'll just queue up 4 depots straight away. Lots more SCVs, just hold that key down. Lots more mules. And let's see what we can do up here, guys. So, cyclones can kite roaches. What you can do, if you end up with cyclones left over from pressure, as long as they don't have roach speed, you can actually kind of push in and they can't really do anything about it because you're so much faster than they are. And notice there's overlords out here, so we can deal with that. Back at home, a single roach comes in, we'll just stim and kill that. And then we can pull these cyclones back home as well. We're already winning on the macro, so why tunnel vision on attacking, guys? Oh, we actually already have Gary and Bruce out there, I forgot. Whoops. Whatever, extra depots is never bad. Marauder, Marine, Widow Mine, Medevac. Guys, look at this. I'm queuing up tons of units. I'm still not spending my money. Why? Because we're on 3 base now. So, I'm winning the game. Let's build the command center for the 4th on location. Let's get... Actually, sorry. The order, you should try to always stick to the right order. 2nd factory, then 4th command center, then 3 more barracks. It's really good to be consistent with that order just to build the muscle memory. And then we can rally these guys all out to the third, where we take the 2 gases there. And we're just immediately putting guys on gas. Even though they're going to lose 20 seconds of mining time, it's all about being efficient with your actions and your attention rather than anything else. And these guys just keep building depots. All right, guys. So I think we can grab all of these units, shift onto my army, and we can move forward. He's coming out with some roaches. He's going to try and bile it. Baited. All right, so we'll move forward and we'll try and attack up from the right and kill that third base. Remember, we've got all these things, control group now, tech lab on that second factory. Everything's rallied to the front. Marauders, Marines, Widow Mines. And oh, he's run out into the open. Get him! Charge! Since we're fighting, we might as well go for it, guys. So notice we're moving up on top of him because we've got the numbers advantage. And we're going to burrow these Widow Mines here.
Add-on is up and running.
And we don't want to eat the bile, so we want to keep moving in. And you just want to try to win the game. Very nice. Now, because there's no banelings to worry about, we can probably stem a move quite easily. 2-2. Good armor. And just keep making bio. And we'll have a good time. GG, well played. So this is a huge departure from what we've done up to this point. But once you get to 3 base, you want to add tech labs on these barracks, guys. Tech lab on that. You get a planetary on your 4th. And all you do is just transfer workers. About 70 workers is the maximum you ever really want. Every now and then you can just control click your idle workers, send them to your 4th or 5th base. And if you've got map control and you can feel you can get away with it, go build command centers everywhere like that. But if they're more of a backstabbing low economy Zerg where that's too dangerous, just build command centers safely in your main and then float them out. So it really depends on the situation you're in based on your opponent and how they're playing the game, if that makes sense. Okay. As time goes on, it's Marauders, Marines, lots of Widow Mines, and Medevacs. Now, technically, Widow Mines aren't as good versus Roaches. You can still win just by using drops and multi-prong and attacking well. But if you want, you can always just do this response. Just lift off the reactor and swap to tank production. Just go double tank production instead versus Roach styles. And that's going to be a nice way of keeping the gameplay nice and simple for yourself. Tanks versus Roaches, but otherwise your default is build Widow Mines, and you should be in a really good spot. In terms of early aggression, anytime you see something coming, pump Cyclones out of that factory. It's so easy to defend right now with the new Cyclone. We'll see if this hangs around in the game. The traditional way of defending that would have been make Marauders, make a bunker on the high ground, try to get a Liberator or a Banshees out, and build a few Widow Mines, because they can do a bit more damage to the Roaches, whereas the Hellions can't. The Hellions are still very important, though. If you ever lose your Hellions, the Zerglings become very dangerous, so you need to keep your Hellions safe in the back of your army on top of that ramp, and just pulling up to the high ground makes it much easier. Alright, we got ourselves another Diamond Protoss Sequy here, and we're going to be going for that 2 Cyclone drop in the main, and try to run some Marines in the natural at the same time. Classic 2-pronged attack. We could simplify this and just do the Cyclone drop, but I think there's a lot of greedy Protoss players out there, and having a 2-pronged attack just sets yourself up to be ready to punish those players and kind of not let them get out of control, if that makes sense. 2nd base, 3rd base, 4th base, and 5th. This is a really funky map because the map's kind of split down the right, but it's very easy to mine out the minerals to open up that bottom right side of the map. I actually really like it. There is also it's a gold base here, so you can just take that gold as your 4th. Maybe we'll do that. 4th there, 5th there. I do kind of like that setup. Now remember, we don't need to SCV scout, but we can very quickly pull an SCV if we see a probe coming in, because probe harass can be very annoying. So you don't want to, if you are already getting attacked by the time you pull a probe or an SCV to help defend, then you need to pull 2 SCVs. But if you react very quickly, like right now, I can just change the rally point, then we can defend that without having to swap a unit on and off the barracks, which is just annoying. It's one of those things, as we get more active here in Diamond League, players are going to kind of force us to do a little bit more. All right. So it looks like he's coming up, probably going to block my base, so we want to try and attack him. And you always want to cut off the inside. You see, he's going to circle. So you pull the worker to cut off the inside of the circle, and he can't block you too badly. You just imagine where the circle is that they have to trace to keep blocking the expansion. Becomes very apparent where you're meant to go. Now remember, we're meant to check for proxies, just like we see Maru and Beyond do with this build, guys. We're basically Maru or Beyond, for sure. Totally. Totally. Kill up the second Marine here, and then a bunker with this depot SCV. Factory's on the way. Kill up another SCV. Haven't seen any proxies yet, which is good. And now we can get the second gas after that. All right. So we're going to go check the watchtower and then go for a scout with my Reaper. And what's really fun about this transition is even though these builds are much more ambitious, and I know they're not as easy a stepping stone as the steps we've given so far, if you start learning these builds, it will be a hard learning curve initially, but bam, it will pay off so big once you start putting in the hours. And what do we see? A Twilight Council, so we just want to get out of there. Hopefully we survive. If not, no worries. Medevac and a Cyclone will start. You might be realizing, well, we don't have that Cyclone yet. Not a big deal, guys. 16 workers now, we can rally to the natural. There we go. Only costs 50 gas. So it's more important to start the Starport than the Cyclone. Remember, that slowed us down the first game we played. We've seen a Twilight. It could be Dark Templar. But remember, we don't defend against Dark Templar. We just hope that that is not what's happening. Because my name is Pig, and I'm an absolute gronk. Alright, I'll scout around the top left of the map with that. Alright, Marines are building. Let's build SCVs and mules right now. Let's go. We want to get that medevac started and then the Cyclone. Cyclone and medevac, I believe, have very similar build time. And you can see here, we can raise that, and we can try to kill that Adept. Yeah. 2 depots, because I forgot to build them earlier. Let's get 2 more barracks as well. Okay. More SCVs and mules. These depots are going to go back in a sec. Tech lab, tech lab. Okay, guys, let's go. I'm purposely trying to do this slowly, and I'm like so onco at it. Oh my god. Alright, Cyclone drop into the main. Behind this. SCVs. Engineering bay block. Double gas. More SCVs and mules. Okay, let's get a tank. Let's get a Raven. And do we have a third base or no? Okay, so there is a third base, guys. We're going to go straight into that mineral line up here. So we're going to tell these Cyclones to unload. But there's a lot of Stalkers there, so we're not even going to screw around. We're just going to get out, run away. And then these guys are also going to run away. I felt like he's too defended. We're going to leave the Cyclone drop there. We might come back later. For now, SCVs, Marines. Oh wait, we've got to swap, so we can't finish our macro cycle till these swap over. Okay, now we can go depots. Or a supply block, so we could do a supply drop. Normally you lose units in that sort of pressure, which helps you out, but this time we didn't, so that's why everything's like super awkward. We're building those depots. Gary and Bruce are just going to keep building those for the rest of this game. We got the 4th and 5th barracks. And what else are we missing, guys? We haven't put on gas up here. Build +1. Put some guys there. Maybe we want to put that tank further back down here. And we want to make sure all this is here. What about observers? I saw a robo on the other side of the map. There's probably an observer there. You can just drop an auto turret to kill it. Makes it nice and easy. And we're going to keep that with our army this time. So, guys, how many SCVs do we have? Last 2 SCVs we're building. Last mules we're dropping. Marauders, Marines, Widow Mines, Medevacs. And of course, depots at the end of the macro cycle. Let's try to poke back in the main. Just see if his pants are down. No, run away, run away. Okay, the Cyclone drop goes home. And we're going to grab everything together. Okay, we'll try and just take the watchtower with that. And then we can start planning our push. Tech Lab Reactor. Marauders, Marines. Medevacs. Widow Mines. And of course, more depots. So we're spending our money pretty well. And looks like it's go time. All right.
Add-on is up and running.
Oh, hello. So guys, if you want to get that, make sure you do chase after And look at that. Run away! Ah! So he's got a lot of zealots right now. Looks like we did manage to get the observer. Is he actually pushing me? Looks like he is. Okay. So we're going to try and push up through the middle. Let's build more Marauders, more Marines, more Widow Mines, more Medevacs. I don't know if we need more depots. Oh my god. Okay, guys. Let's stim up here into the main. You want to put those here in a choke point. So what you do, pull all your SCVs away. You just want to kind of block them. And as long as your bio's stimmed, you should be good. And once you're in a choke point, you can just go back to mining. And raise that depot there to block those. A little bit high level. Oh, he stumbled into me. My army did pretty good there, thankfully. At this point, you can drop on the right because his army's too focused on the left. And I just went F2, Shift A move to this side. So I'm rallying the rest of my army to here. I'm also building 2 Vikings. And we're going to drop a few auto turrets to try and fight off these zealots. So what we have right now, guys, is these guys I stole onto a different key. They're dropping in the main. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to F2 A move the left base. This is an easy way of making sure everything does their job. And then these guys are just going to stim and try and kill whatever they can. Now, if we can kill some stalkers, that'd be great. Looks like it's a bit too much, though. So we're going to click on the medevacs, control-click the medevacs, boost, and click away. We're a little bit too slow with our mouse speed, so we lose one of them. That hurts. And now we're just microing these guys. Remember, always only micro one side at a time. Multitasking is really all about microing one thing at a time. Despite what the name says. Medevacs, all that stuff. Cool. So we're going to kill this pylon, move up there. His whole army's here, right? So that allows these guys to go back in. Drop right in the mineral line. And this drop. Does he have a base there? He doesn't. So these guys, I don't think I've seen any splash damage. So if we kill the Robo, I don't think he can build splash damage. And remember, Robo is one of the weakest tech structures out there. Starports and factories much harder to snipe.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
Killing lots of units there. The drop in the main is a distraction, remember. This is the real fight that matters. And even with a battery, it doesn't matter if you've got this many units. Oh, he has Dark Templar on me, guys. I did not even notice the Dark Templar. This is the map. Is this the same map I got killed with Dark Templar last time? No, I don't think it is. Man, I really need a gaming OLED from LG, guys. I just feel like if I bought that monitor that Moon had and let Tasteless play on, I just feel like I could have spotted those Dark Templar quicker. GG, well played. Okay, yeah. Very good defense for him, and I think we saw a very high-level thing that you guys will not make when you first play this build. So let me run through where the correct learning process for you. Let me run through where what should have happened for you guys and girls out there is you would click these Marines and Reapers into the natural mineral line. The drop would go into the main mineral line, and you would lose all of them and kill like 2 probes at best. And that would suck. But as long as you're focused on hitting your macro behind it correctly, it's not too bad, okay? So that's naturally when you're learning a build, get the macro down first. Lose a bunch of games just committing in the most simplistic way to your pressure. Run Marines in front, drop Cyclones in main, micro it for 10-15 seconds, and then go macro. So what your focus should actually be on is instead going, hey, let's start these tech labs a little bit quicker. These Cyclones could have been out slightly faster, right? Remember, if the Cyclone gets nerfed, you don't want to do it this way. You can always do a Widow Mine drop instead of a Cyclone drop, guys, with the Marine pressure at the front. But I could be like, okay, did I start the tech labs the moment this Cyclone pops out? It's okay to wait on the starport. You want to do both at once. But you can look at it and be like, hey, did I waste any seconds here? Or we could be like, oh, okay, slightly. Maybe slightly, but not too bad. What about when these finish? How quickly do we start the tank and the Raven? We can be like, okay, we wasted quite a few seconds here. This is like 5-6 seconds. Okay, that slows things down. Now, the other thing that we can do, right, is we also got supply blocked. We didn't build our depot. So when should we build our depot every game? This is what we need to focus on. Get our build tight, guys. If you start the starport, guess what? This guy that builds the factory is usually Gary. Remember, this is a thing. Any 1-1-1 build, you build the factory, you build the starport. Wait a second. the starport almost always finishes at the time when you need to start a depot, right? Because look at what happens. We're going to, I missed a few SCVs here at this game. I did miss a couple of SCVs, I think. That medevac starts, we're at 37 out of 46, now 39. If we started the depot immediately with Gary, we'd be good. So just remember to keep that depot on time, because getting supply blocked hurts me, and I do think I missed quite a few SCVs. So focus on getting your build tight. Swap those second and third barracks over after the tank and the Raven, and then you're just making 5 racks, Marine, Marauder, Widowmine, Medevac, and that'll be really good. Now, I made that snap call really quickly because I saw Stalkers at the front, and I felt like, these guys have already, like I already saw a Stalker out here. I didn't feel I was going to get in there on surprise. And then I saw a Stalker here, and then I saw more Stalkers warping in immediately and a shield battery, and I pulled back. So that was what made me go, nope, just pull home. This play is well defended. And you know what? This was a perfect opening for my opponent. This is a 2-gate blink robo into a third base. Like, Sequi's doing a goddamn pro gamer execution here. The worker count's a bit low for Sequi, to be fair. But having 2 shield batteries, 7 Stalkers, blink, and a third base almost finished at 5 minutes, this is a nuts opening. This is actually really well done by Sequi. What can we focus on to make a similar fast read instead of taking terrible fights? So once you've gotten your macro good, how do you get good at that sort of read? Really simple. You always watch your replays, and you want to build pattern recognition. So if you're in chess, you might study board state and look at it and try to understand it and learn to recognize it and the advantages and disadvantages and what you need to think about in those states. What did I recognize here? Shield battery. Already I'm not feeling good if there's a shield battery there. And then there's already a bunch of Stalkers. That, and it's 5 minutes, blink could be done. I know there's a Stalker there. 4 Stalkers and a shield battery is like, F off. There's no point screwing around here. What about down here? What was the thing that I saw? I don't even know. I don't even remember. This was more of a feeling. Something felt like, I think this build felt too much like it was like a pro build order. Let's see, what was it?
Add-on is up and running.
So we come forward. The Reaper kind of scouts ahead. And I think, yeah, okay, we saw 2 Stalkers. I just figured I've only got 6 Marines. Even if the Stalkers A move, they're going to like, they'll lose to the Marines and the Reaper, but not by much. So I feel, and then the thing is, if they do micro a little bit, or there's a shield battery, or they warp in some more Stalkers, it's going to do nothing. And there is, in fact, a 3rd Stalker and a shield battery. So I just felt like, look, if there's already 2 Stalkers here, these guys aren't going to do anything. Pull back, focus on the Cyclone drop. Really simple. Okay, no worries. But then I got in the main, and I saw 4 Stalkers and a shield battery, and I said, well, fuck this, we're leaving. So it's just, it's anytime you just look at the game and you go, oh yeah, this is yes, or this is no. 4 Stalkers shield battery is a no. 2 Stalkers versus just 6 Marines and a Reaper, that's a no for me. If it was 1 Stalker, I'd go. If it was just a shield battery, 1 Stalker, 2 Stalkers, I go. If it's 3 Stalkers, I'd probably get the fuck out of there. And you kind of draw that line for yourself, and then you just, next time you're like, there's a shield battery and they seem to be aware of what's happening. There's any attention or Stalkers, get out of there. And you just build that over time through experience. So the more you do a build like this, you build this like real map of like when it's good to commit, when it's good to pull back. And StarCraft is all about building those little just pieces of knowledge that are automatic in your brain. A lot of people, they feel the experience of when they're first playing a build in StarCraft and everything is new and feels a bit overwhelming. But that's why I say just commit hard to the attack. You've got your mental bandwidth full focusing on the build order. Keep focusing on the build order. That's more than enough for you to focus on right now. That's going to keep you really occupied. So just grind out the build order. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, my build order is feeling really comfortable. I'm really confident. I'm time to start spending more of my replay analysis at the end of each game focused on, okay, I probably shouldn't have gone in here with the Cyclone. Okay, let's remember that. If I see 6 Stalkers on the edge of the base, that's a no. Pull out. Okay. And you're creating very simple binary responses in your brain. It keeps it really simple. A lot of people, they try to create like a 17-step flowchart for everything they see in StarCraft. StarCraft's much simpler if you just make it very binary. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, you know? Do I go forward or do I go back? All right, we're going to start the TVT versus Bullier. Bullier has been Master Zerg in the past, and he's been off-racing a lot, playing random and off-race Protoss and Terran for a long time. So is always solidly in the Diamond League with both of those races. I think his Zerg's probably about Diamond 1 these days. I don't know if he's still Master League, but see how we go. All right, so it's going to be TVT. We are doing that double Raven opening. Now, the one thing that we're going to be doing a bit better after the first game is we did start saying, okay, the third gas is going to be better, because I really believe in TVT when you're learning these macro builds, it's very important to be the player who goes first with the Ravens to get some confidence with your Raven usage. And going for the Raven attack, whether it works or doesn't work, it's going to increase your confidence using those Ravens. You know, even if you screw it up 2 out of 3 times when you're first learning it, you're initiating the attack, you're quickly analyzing, going, okay, oh, I did this wrong, I did that right, okay, we'll fix that one for the next time. You get better very, very quickly. Whereas if you're sitting there and defending, I feel you often get surprised by them pushing you with Raven Tank, and you're like, oh, no, no. And then just like everything dies, and you know, you feel kind of shit and powerless. So I think being aggressive, even though we're doing a 3 command center build, is going to be really nice. Now, there are scenarios where it could get punished, but even if your opponent's on 2 base, I think this push can have massive potential. So yeah. Now you can scout around, guys, for proxies if you want. So we'll do that. I like to do this. We'll scout around for proxies. And remember, when we get 100 gas, we pull off gas 3 workers. You go there, you go there. And we got that second depot. So what you do is your Reaper, when it pops out, it needs to go down here just to look for like really close Reapers near the ledge. And on the other side, you're just looking for like Proxy Marauder. Probably should have checked up there as well, but it is what it is. All right, so the Reaper goes down. You got to watch it when it moves out, because you could be getting Proxy Reapered in TVT. Very common build. And if we don't see anything, that's fine. We just go back to a nice safe position, okay? And remember, once that command center starts, what do? We go straight back on gas. So we build the command center about 2 minutes 20. We put 3 workers back on gas. And we keep putting SCVs. We get a Cyclone, and then a Starport, and then a Depot. So Cyclone straight away, Reactor straight away. That's going to keep us safe. Going for the Starport before either of those means you're very risky, because what if they run in with 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions? You know, cutting your production's very dangerous. There we go, Starport. We'll get a Depot next to the ledge. Easy peasy. And once that Cyclone's out, I usually feel like I can micro that for a lot of safety. So I'm going to send those Reapers across the map now, okay? We're putting those on my secondary army key. Lost my Cyclone, and now a second Cyclone queuing up on my main army key, and they're going to stay in the middle. So jumping between my bases, checking my camera locations are good. We can build Marines here as well. We don't want our units at the front because they could get killed. And just keep chilling for now, and we can just poke in, get an idea of what we're up against. More SCVs, Tech Lab, and oh, we forgot to build the gas, guys. Okay, we're going to start that gas now. A little bit later than we should, but better late than never. All right, so we're going to try and kill some stuff, but looks like he's ready. So we just run away with the Reapers. We'll hide those in the top of the map for later scouting. Let's get the Orbital.
Add-on is up and running.
We're going to get the Tech Lab there to start building siege tanks. I want to just put these guys on gas straight away. Make sure we get that up. So normally that gas should start when it's about 3/4 complete on the command center. So basically after the depot goes down, you can already be thinking about that. About the time you start your second Cyclone is usually another way, depending on what you prefer, linking it to something else. If you forget something a lot, to something else that you remember very consistently makes it much easier. So just kind of chunking things together, chaining them together where possible can really help. So we're going to build a second Raven. We forgot to start Matrix. That should have started earlier. That's going to slow our swapping our Starport off. Remember, that needs to start with the first Raven. You guys can see I'm not used to this build at all. It looks like he's doing something pretty similar. I'm going to put just 1 Marine outside my base there and 1 out there just to get a little bit of vision. Oh, speak of the devil. Okay, hello. Building lots of SCVs right now. Does that mean he's attacking in the main at the same time, guys? Because that seemed like a very half-assed pressure. I don't see anything, but just felt a bit half-assed, so. All right, now if you want, you could go 3 Ravens. I'm going to do that just because we forgot the interference matrix, so I figure we might as well. And then we can get a Marine outside his base and a Marine at his third. Okay. Now, we've been floating money for a bit, so third command center should have already gone down. keep building SCVs, mules,
We're
marines,
done with the
tank, and then we can... Normally you'd go with 3 tanks, so definitely there's been some gaps in my tank production, guys. I don't know what that factory's been doing. That's wild how late that is. Build 2 more barracks, go back to mining. And let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna push forward and look for that attack angle. We'll probably try and push in from the right side maybe, depending on where he's at. Behind this, we still need to build lots of SCVs. We want to get a 4th gas, as well as a double engineering bay at about the same time.
We're hitting our
And
SCVs.
oh my god. Okay, guys. So we're going to build another Raven and a Cyclone here, because he is
Our
coming in
SCVs
with a
are under
Cloaked
fire.
Banshee.
We're hitting
Just
our
when I move out.
SCVs.
Oh my lord, what a piece of shit. Oh, this is a beautiful counter build, guys. Alright, so we need to just win the game.
Our base is under attack.
Luckily, he has nothing at home.
Our SCVs
Pull back the
are under
Cyclone.
fire.
Okay.
Our base is under attack.
Alright, let's go home now. What do we got here? Okay, he has an army over here as well. Okay. What is... Oh man, this is really nasty. Alright, we're just going to try and defend at home. We've got tank sieged on his production, so I think we're winning. And where's that Banshee? There it is. Alright, we're going to clean the Banshee up. We're losing all of our workers on our natural. These guys here need to go back to mining. And because he doesn't have high ground vision, we can move this tank forward and get in range of that.
Our base is under attack.
On the other side, guys, what's going on? So we're just going to throw down as many auto turrets as we can to make sure he doesn't get any of this defense up. And then we can move our tanks up on the production, as well as these guys. Back at home, what's happening? Looks like the tank died, guys. It is what it is. More Ravens, more tanks, and more Marines. Normally I'd be building other units. We just don't have time to be swapping add-ons in the midst of a base trade, okay? And that Banshee's gonna kill all my Marines if I don't watch out. Oh my god. Oh, what a shithead. Okay, so Banshees are really, really amazing in TVT if your opponents don't build Ravens. They're also really, really amazing if you hide them and wait for your opponent's Ravens to move out and then come in. Oh, this is the dirtiest counter build. Oh, well played, Booyah. Now, what would be really messed up is if my Reapers actually saw cloak upgrading and I'm an actual nincompoop who didn't pay attention. No, he hadn't started it. I thought I looked through because you can see bubbles, guys. When an upgrade starts, notice there's going to be bubbles on that tech lab. See? This green bubbly shit starts up. Where it's like... So I just assumed he was going Ravens. I moved out. Our armies somehow missed each other. If he kept his army at home on the ground, I think he wins this game probably. I would have needed a really good interference matrix engagement, and because I missed a bunch of factory production time, I don't think I could actually break him with only 2 siege tanks. So he comes in, his Reaper Alien doesn't do much. I completely forgot about these Reapers, I'm pretty sure, for the entire game, and I don't think I F2'd, so I'm pretty sure they were still there at the end of the game. That's the power of not using F2 and panic. It's even harder to tell because people get the Raven upgrade now. Great point from Jadolf. It actually, seeing the bubbles doesn't mean cloak anymore anyway. So yeah, I got halfway out across the map and he sends the Banshees in from both sides and I'm just like, man, I was just about to build 2 engineering bays. They haven't started yet. I have no scans. I only have 4 Marines that shoot up. So we build Cyclones because they shoot up and I start building more Ravens because I'm like, well, I need detection. We might as well. So we start a Cyclone, a Raven, more Marines. Then I start running these SCVs away, but I'm like, well, I need some mining. I can't run all my SCVs away. And I'm like, okay, just focus on winning the fight. And thankfully for me, he left himself undefended at home. Otherwise, I would be absolutely screwed. But as it was, just 1 tank on its own, not sieged. And because I could get my tank sieged up there, I was like, okay, cool. Let's focus at home. And luckily, that tank sieges and focusing at home, because we kill the Marines, he loses high ground vision. He loses that tank as well. We deal with this one. Don't even need the Raven because he's out of energy. We go back to mining there. All the SCVs die on the natural, so I'm down on workers. But look at this. The tank comes in. He actually reacts very quickly with his scan. That was not active micro for me, guys. That was my Cyclone just being an absolute nincompoop. I was watching up here because I realized, okay, well, if I'm going to lose my natural, I need to, like, get up in the air. and really make sure I kill everything. And because I hadn't used any auto turret energy yet, we were able to just kill all of his defense with auto turrets. Tanks kill everything else. Anything that pops is popping into its death. And even though this Banshee's being a nuisance, we will eventually get out, you know, some Marines to kill it, and he will go down. So GG. Very cool build order by him, guys. Very cool build order. Sneaky Banshees, man. All right. What's up, everyone? We're playing Death Source on Equilibrium. This is a map with a crazy gold base with purple gas on it. This is a really bad map, I would say, for Terran vs. Zerg, I would imagine. I feel like this map's probably very bad for Terran, but who knows? Maybe there's some nice push you can do on this top path that's actually quite good. And to be fair, I don't know if the maps actually make that much of a difference. We're going Hellion Lib now, which means we can punish our opponent if they go for the gold base too early. I think Zerg's probably not going to take that before their 4th base. And we'll see how we go. People are talking about Proxy Tempest in the chat. The scariest one is the one on Radhuset Station, where they take your gold base right at the start. And like they go like Stargate there, and they just go straight into Tempest and start sieging your natural from their gold base. It's quite nasty. Very hard to stop. I know it works really well versus Zerg, but I imagine it's not too bad against Protoss as well. And this was a TVZ, guys. You do need to scout verse. So Reaper Orbital goes up. We go scout if there's an expansion up on time. Remember that expansion's meant to finish about the time the Reaper pops for a hatchery first. If it's later than that, the hatchery, it means they've gone for an earlier spawning pool. And we'll have to leave the Reaper at home in those cases. Now here we bring Gary forward. Remember, Gary builds a depot, builds a factory, builds a starport, and then starts building depots. And that's an early pool, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crudsicles. Okay, guys. So we're going to build a bunker on the high ground. And let's... Looks like he pulled his units back for it. We're going to defend on the high ground, guys. Now, okay, drop the grenade behind yourself so that you get maximum hits. And then just defensive starter step. I don't want to micro the Marine down the ramp. That's okay. Let's take a second gas. And the reason is I'm worried about the follow-up. I don't think this is just a 12 pool. I think this is going to be other units as well. Now we're very low, guys, so we've got to be careful here. And we're going to try to put another SCV on that as well. If we can keep that alive, that's going to be really good. Now, it's really important to not take any hits when you're regenning like this, because any hits will cancel your regen. Alright, we're going to put the Reaper back out front. And we're going to risk looking away, even though that's very risky right now. Reactor, Hellion, Starport. Okay. Command center's up. Can repair it. Alright, we're going to go forward here. Alright, we're going to try and scout by jumping into the main. I have no idea what we're going to see. We'll put the Hellion outside of our base. Check the watchtower, just to make sure. And we'll send a Hellion to his gold base and then back here. Alright, guys. Let's get ready to swap into a normal build. Third command center. Even though we went second gas first because I was worried about whatever was coming next, we're just going back to our normal game plan. We're going to build a Liberator, Hellions. We see a very quick lair and a Nidus Worm. It's one base swarm host. It's one base swarm host! Alright, we're patrolling the Reaper and the Alien up there. Oh my. Let's build Cyclones. Cyclones should shut this down. And we can put these Marines on the edges of our base. Okay, so we're going to build a depot here and then rally to the natural guys. And looks like these guys are going to try and stop this. So, we're going to put these Marines inside the bunker. Kill the creep tumor if we can. And we'll pull back until we get some Cyclones, okay? Now the Liberator is going to go across the map, and I think that could do game-ending damage. And we're going to keep building... Oh, run! Oh, we got the first Cyclone. Get out of here. Oh no! Alright, we'll rebuild that bunker. Get another depot there. Make another orbital. Now we do want to go out with these mobile units, guys, like I said. You want to try and punish him in between locust waves, and the Liberator is doing crazy damage. Now, we can't do too much here by the looks of it, because he's got quite a few queens there. So we're going to pull back. He's also got a spine crawler. Hats off to him. He's doing real well. I think we want to build another Liberator for now. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with thinking about what I would tell you guys to do as an easy way of dealing with this. So I think I'll just do it the way I think is the best, and then we can adapt from there. So we're going to try and get these locusts to chase me this way. Get the Marines inside the bunker, guys. Ooh, okay, now we can go down and deal with that. All right. Behind this, let's try and build. We've got a lot of money. 1, 2, 3, 4 barracks. Build SCVs. Build mules. Build gases. And keep building depots. Now, taking too long to macro in this scenario is bad because you need to get back out there and punish them during these moments of downtime. I think we need to just fight this, right? And the spine crawler is pretty sick. Pull back the weak cyclone there. Oh! This is actually really awesome by him. I'm going to send another Lib across and try to siege on that, guys. And let's try to quickly repair all this, shall we? Okay. I'm going to build the gold base down there because that's kind of further away. And we're going to run these SCVs away. Okay, keep building SCVs. And we're just going to clean these up. All right, keep building SCVs. All right, we're going to go 2 tech labs. The rest are going to go reactors. We're also going to go double engineering bay, guys. We're going to keep building cyclones for now. And we're going to put on gas. Now, what's the main thing I've forgotten? Oh, go across the map. That's how you win. You don't fight it front on, you go across the map. Why am I fighting it front on right now? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Ah, yeah, okay. This guy can't make anything right now, guys. I'm like, what is the thing? I made this build. I know how to stop it. I'm like, what's the fundamental thing again? Because it's just hitting so early, it kind of breaks your brain and you stop doing your fundamentals a little bit. Oh my god, I just lost all my cyclones. Oh my god, I just lost all my cyclones. There was a second wave of locusts coming in behind the first. The first one was bait. Oh my god. Actually, no, I did send 4 across the map. Never mind. I lost like 2. I thought I'd lost like 6. Alright, those cyclones are going to counterattack. We're making marauders. We're making medevacs now in a moment as well. And these guys, back on gas, back on gas, back on minerals.
They're hitting our SCVs.
Oh, run the SCVs. Always, guys, run the SCVs and lift the command center if you have to, okay? Just shift click them away. Cyclones are absolutely ruining right now. And if you force them to use Locust defensively, they've already lost. Awesome. Okay, that's way better, guys.
They're hitting our SCVs.
Alright, we're going to go here and try to build a base there, I think. We're going to try and float this one down there. These guys are up here. We're just going to mine whatever we can.
Research complete.
And we're going to add these guys all together. When Stim's done, we're going to push out and try to kill all this stuff,
Our
okay?
base is under attack.
Ah, run away, run away, run. Ow.
Our base is under attack.
All right, these guys are going to go up in there again.
We're done with this. Our base is under attack.
And those guys are on a secondary key. Can't make more swarm hosts, which is good.
Upgrade is ready for you. Our base is under attack.
Pull the red hit point cyclones to the back.
We're done with the research.
Go again. And if we can kill the Nidus, that's going to be great.
They're hitting our SCVs.
Because then he can't reposition. Those SCVs all just tried to run through because I told them to mine too early. All of his swarmers are stuck at home now, guys. Woohoo! So we can bring this back and clear it up from the other side. So now we can clear it up. Because we just killed the Nidus worm. These guys, put them on auto repair. Move them there. All right, look at that. Ha ha! We can finally clear it. Oh my lord.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
More Marines are
Our
building.
SCVs are under fire. Our base is under attack.
This is a legendary build from him. Haha!
Find out a mineral field.
All right, so we've defended. At this point, guys, what you do is you put a cyclone up there and a cyclone there, and you just deselect both of those so they're not in your control group. Remake them. This can go down there.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
And this is going to be my 4th camera location. That's my 2nd. That's my 3rd. So that's our new expansion pattern. All right, now my army's going to send out Marines to make sure he doesn't have an expansion anywhere. I unleashed my APM for just a moment there to do that. Awesome. We need more depots. We need an armory for 2-2. Can't make that. He's got some Hydras to try and guard it. He has to use the Locusts just to try and keep himself alive, and we've got the firepower now that we don't even care. He doesn't throw them all at once. There's no way he can stop it. GG. Death Source is a fucking Chad gamer. Guys, Death Source is like the biggest, dickest fucking Zerg ever. That was really well done. The creep was really oppressive. It was really in my face. I needed to, after like the first wave, sneak cyclones out. If I got 2 cyclones on his side of the map from the start, that's much easier. If you forget about the key thing of how to defend a strategy like that, it gets momentum and it gets out of control very quickly. So yeah, definitely an issue, guys. Definitely an issue. So I started building cyclones the moment I knew something was up. And even here, I think if I just grab these 2 cyclones, and even maybe the Hellions and the Reaper as well, because with this, they can't really force their way in. There's no Lings, there's no Roaches. Grab the 2 cyclones, the Hellions and the Reapers, whatever, and go across the map. Losing the first cyclone really hurt me, right? But I could lose the bunker. I could just run SCVs away, lift buildings if I need to. And if I just go down south, run across, what can my opponent do? We're going to pick up multiple Overlord kills on the map, which ruins him because he's only on 22 drones. And then you get up there, and he's got to start popping queens in and out defensively. This Liberator alone did a crazy amount of damage. And that's with him responding really well to it. But even that did great damage. So yeah. The bio transition is very good once you get there, but it's very weak to start until you actually get it all up. So normally what I do is if someone's managing to get this sort of position up, my main's vulnerable, I might try and build a command center down here straight away and start building all my barracks like in the bottom left or the bottom right of the map, somewhere far away from where the swarm hosts are. But we didn't quite get to that position, so I was like, whatever, I'll just build it here. Very cool strategy. The one-base swarmer is such a good one from Death Source. GG's, mate. All right, let's get into it. We've got Killer B is a random player. How do you play against random? Well, we can just scout a bit early, and even if our builds don't normally scout super early, that's okay, because then it just gives us a bit of extra time to respond if we're being cheesed, and it also allows us to kind of adjust to the mental track that we're on and just go back to our normal build. Oh, it's a Terran? Okay, TVT build, let's go. Oh, it's a Zerg, you know, so on and so forth. So we're going to go across the map here right after starting our depot. I think that's early enough to start our second gas in time if it's a TVT. Obviously, we don't have to play double gas TVT, but that's what we're working on right now. So this is just going to simplify things. So in general, even if it feels like it's very early in the game, always nice to just go across, see what's happening, no surprises. Also, a lot of random players cheese, so if you scout this early, you are simply going to crush it. Should be really easy. Alright, so it's a Zerg, it's a hatchery first. Cool. Looks like a very standard build. We can just go home, guys. Nothing else to see here. I guess we can check that there's a pool first. Oh, I blocked the pool, guys. Nice. Alright, we're putting on gas a little bit late. Let's not get carried away with some worker harass that we're not used to doing. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough gas for that Reaper because I put on gas just a little late. So Orbital, then the Reaper. Plays the Reaper by just a few seconds, not too bad. Rally that Reaper across the map. Third base, fourth base, fifth base. And that command center can go down right there. SCV goes back to mine. Command center sets the camera location. And this one can build the depot. Now remember, we are playing a 3 command center build into Biomine. Very common to what you see at the top level. Really good way of playing. Alright, we're just going to A-move that Reaper, put it on our main army group for now. Remember, this depot builder builds a factory next. Then a starport. All that good stuff. Alright. Reactor goes down. And try to do some harassment. Then just scout if there's a third base. And let's go back. Third command center starts up. Alright. Oh, no third base. Alright. Let's move the Reaper back for now. I'm going to go starport and second gas. We can move that barracks over. Orbital command center can start. And there's always a little bit of a delay on your reactor, guys. You don't use that straight away. Don't build the tech lab straight away. Remember, you're meant to idle. And now we build the 2 Hellions. And as long as they start by about 325, you're doing okay. Pro level, I think they start about 318 normally. So you're doing pretty good if you're not too far behind there. You can build a tech lab. Problem is, this slows down your Liberator because you see that you're short on gas for the Liberator. So if you go Liberator, then tech lab, that's a slightly better way of doing this, okay? So now we queue up the Liberator. We just build up a whole bunch of SCVs, mules dropping, a couple more Hellions coming in. All right, let's go scout with our Reaper and Hellions for the third bases again. If you can pick off creep, that's great, but it's not the biggest priority. It's okay if we don't bother with it. And it's also okay, remember, to not be building, to be oversaturated in the main, because we've got a lot of other things we need to build. We can start stim. Remember, 2 more Hellions, guys, so 6 Hellions in total. I want to click these guys back. We see this creep spread, Queens, third base. So we're just going to group up at home. Liberator's going across the map. And now that we're at 50 supply, we want to start Gary and Bruce non-stop building depots. Behind this, we want second and third barracks. We want reactor there. It's going to lift off and build a new reactor. I'm going to move out with these guys. Now, you are a little vulnerable to Ling run bys, but I feel like we were active enough with Hellions and Lings on the map, we probably would have seen them if that was happening. Double engineering bay. Double gas. Some depots. Control group. Build some SCVs. Alright, guys. Hellions on the there. Liberator on the right. It's going to siege up. And this is your classic 1-2 pressure. So you can double tap your keys to kind of look around. Now you want to move in and you want to try and click on the drones at the front of the line so you roast all of them. That way they don't really get to escape. And this is one of your classic moves. But good Lings. Lings, for some reason, were... I think they ran towards the main. Notice we kind of pushed through the choke point there. Okay. What do we do when we get back? Macro cycle. SCVs, SCVs. Lots of mules. Put guys on gas because it's right in front of me. We then build production, Marines, but we need to fix up our add-ons, don't we? Okay. Get the 4th and 5th barracks as well. 1-1 upgrades. Widow mines. Stim. Oh, Stim's already done, so combat shields. Alright, so we got 5 barracks on the way, Widow mines, all this good stuff. And we just threw away our units, so very important to finish that wall off if we haven't yet. Still building lots of SCVs, but we can't move out until we get some more units out. So in this scenario, if you want to rebuild a few Hellions, totally valid. Go for it. Congrats on Platinum 3, rock and roll. Bob just got that after watching Bronze to GM. Heck yeah. Put some Widow mines out front our base. get mentally prepared to start taking that. And after your 4th and 5th barracks, you always want to go for the armory, remember.
Add-on is up and running.
Marauder, lots of Marines. And we can go back to Widow Mines. I think just 2 Hellions should be enough. I want to go for those reactors straight away. Lots and lots of Marines to start. If you want to get a second tech lab, you can, but it's by no means necessary. So guys, deselect the lifted one, set the rally point, grab about 15 workers, and grab a few more, send them over there. It's going to build 2 depots in the main, and our worker count's really nice. Lots of medevacs, mines, all the good stuff. All right, so remember, one of the best things you can do, oh, I forgot there's a pillar there,
Research complete.
is you can basically just grab a bunch of units, send them across to go be annoying with a drop, and then everything else can push the other side of the map if you want. And then we've got Gary, Bruce are gonna just non-stop build depots out here. That'll be great.
Completely mined out a mineral field.
Oh my god, Childs! Wow, keeping Bronze to GM alive. Dude, holy crap. Alright, next week's episode is 100% locked in. Oh my god.
Keep Terran B2GM alive, please. Butter on a peanut butter sandwich is insanity. BTW.
Ready for dust off.
Thank you for your thoughts on peanut butter sandwiches. Butter on peanut butter is insanity. Oh, finally someone who's seen the light. Finally. 2-2 upgrades are on the way. We've got the 4th command center on the way as well. So we are taking a while to get going, guys. Really important to keep up that Marine production. But we're really showing you all the different macro pieces this game. Some players prefer to focus on
We're done with the research.
being more aggressive. Some players prefer to focus on like get all these late game pieces set up, then they can be aggressive later on. It's really up to you and your own flavor. Everyone plays it a little bit differently. So we're going to just use this drop right now. Every now and then I'll select my production and build Marauders and Marines, guys. Looks like there's creep down here as well. Oh, I think I got rid of it, right? That's all receding? It is. So we can just set the Widow Mine and leave those guys now. I don't know why. That Overseer, I don't like it. I don't like being watched.
In that mineral cluster.
I didn't give you permission. Oh, that's all right. I'm joking, guys. Don't actually get triggered by basic things like that. Okay, so those guys can just hang there. We've got 3 more tech labs. Tech lab there. 2 2s on the way. We can grab some of these workers, send them over to the 4th. No worries. Let's scan the main because we want to see if the hive's on the way. Now the hive's not on the way, which is good. More Marauders, more Marines. We're taking so long. It's already almost 9 minutes. I mean, we got to go. So we're going to start pushing this left side of the map with this army. The right side guys are just going to kind of hang out over here. And oh, he's playing Mass Roach. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so these guys are going to try to drop the main to buy time. We're going to try and clear creep on this side as well. And behind this, we definitely need tanks. So let's build tanks, drilling claws, and we'll build a 3rd factory as well. And I saw he had infestors, guys, so we got to be very wary of that. Notice that one of those medevacs didn't unload. We're just going to kill these spores to open up the future push path, but he's actually ready. He's got plenty of units, so we're just going to pull that back. Alright guys, so we're scanning and stimming here, but we're losing pretty badly due to great fungals from him. We're building tanks. We've also got a new factory coming up. Build a planetary over there. Make sure we take gases as well.
Our base is under attack.
And this is why you should always scan to see if they're playing roaches. I saw roaches earlier and I didn't respond to it. Now, I don't think there's any fungal energy, but I'm hoping I can kind of just scare him back by defending back here because there's a choke point there. The buildings are going to kind of block for me. Oh, he just did the wrong spell. He just did Microbial Shroud. Oh, that sucks. Because I didn't think he had enough energy, but he had more infestors that I didn't know about. That's really unfortunate for him. All right, so we're building tanks 3 at a time. I just got supply blocked really bad, so we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to make like probably 6 depots. 6 depots should get me out of any supply blocks for the rest of this game. If you ever get attacked, just like that, shift repair. Now, does he have any fungal guys? I don't think so. Let's siege a tank here. What is this orange unit? Oh, there's a Hellbat in there. Okay, and that's going to finally get us defended for this next step. Okay, we can get sensor tower. Put on gas, put on gas. So what are we going to do, guys? We're just going to tell those guys to go drop, and then we'll stim and try and defend this base.
Under attack.
He shouldn't be able to kill it. These drops I'm going to send across the map into his main again.
Our base is under attack.
On the left side, he's still coming in. Lots of Marines and Marauders. These guys are just going to counterattack though. I think it's really worth counterattacking at this point. These guys are going to move there.
SCVs are under fire.
Run the SCVs back. And if we lose those factories, we'll need more. So we'll build 3 more factories. Move these guys into the main.
Nothing left in that
Click
mineral cluster.
infestors whenever you see them. If it's too late to run away, that is. If you can just run away, that's probably better. These guys are going to try to fight because he turned back. That means this army's in trouble. Oh, luckily we got the infestor. No, the fungals landed though. All right, so click on the medevacs and try to get out. Try to get out.
Heading out.
And if you can just drop those to the bottom right and heal, they'll be good. These guys didn't actually kill drones during that because I'm an idiot and I didn't move them in.
That mineral cluster.
Hold position means they're not going to go chasing the attacking units unless those attacking units come in range. So we'll try to pick up and drop.
Upgrade is ready for use.
All right, let's try and take a few more command centers. One there, one there. And we can try to build one there. We also can rally to this base. Oh, hello. Got that. Build tech labs. So rally to this base, build lots of SCVs. Because we lost them all, right? No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Cancel those SCVs. They're all standing there. Put on gas. Put on gas. Back on gas. Back on gas.
Add-on is up and running.
All right.
Add-on complete.
Lots of Marines. Lots of Marauders. Okay. So we've got an army on the right that's being annoying. We've got a lot of bio here. This is the point in the game where
Upgrade is ready for use.
it can be kind of hard to move out and win a fight.
We've completely
But if you
mined
just
out
leave your
mineral
units at home, you kind of can't lose. So we'll just leave this here as the dickhead squad. I don't know what's down there, so we're going to build a turret there and a turret there. Try and get rid of it. And all I need is some of these command centers to finish and turn into planetaries, and we're good. So we're kind of waiting for my opponent to make the doo-doos. Now, what if Broodlords come in? That count as heavy siege tanks, right? That's something we're very aware of. Luckily, we scan, there's no hive. But if there was, we'd swap into Thors, which is why we get a second armory. You can also get building armor and high sex auto tracking, because just like in the real world with Viagra, if you guys have a low sec drive, you just pay for it. Get +1 range on your longbolt missile. These guys are going to come in on the right side.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
We're going to try to come in. And creep is nice, but run. Oh god, if he chains it, we're dead. So notice you can dodge, even though you're only at 25% movement speed, guys. You can get out of there, especially if you spread him. Spread it like it's
Mineral
hot.
field depleted.
Oh. And we can just drop down there. Okay. So guys, what I'm doing is I'm F2ing, going Control 2. Then I'm grabbing these 3 medevacs and going steal them onto number 1. So that way I just control group my whole army. I can now just tab to my tanks, unsiege them, and start pushing. And I'm going to go all the way around the left side of this map, because I feel that's where I've kind of ignored
Research
fighting.
complete.
Okay, let's tab to my siege tanks. And... oh my lord. A lot of infestors, that's kind of annoying. Alright, if he keeps going aggressively, we might need to do something about it. Yeah. Alright, these guys are going to attack again. Alright, we're going to try and tab to the siege tanks and move down here. Luckily my sensor tower sees it. I
Upgrade
never made
complete.
planetaries on these bases because I'm a nincompoop. Let's try to make them up here because I'm probably going to lose all those bases.
Get me out of this mess.
Okay, these guys are going to run in, which is nice.
That's low.
And that forces him home. This is what I'm saying about, at this point, guys, rather than trying to actually attack with my main army, it might be smarter for me to just pick up and just send drops. And just be like, you guys drop there. I mean, I'm going to try to siege up, but he can run away. So we kind of need to drop him until he's angry enough to attack into me, right? Ooh, run. We're going to grab an idle worker and repair there.
Command
Oh,
center
these
has
guys
been
are actually not dead yet. And if we kill that hive, that actually saves a lot of problems. And you see, I told this to unload there. Luckily, I'm looking at it so I can unload elsewhere. If we click the hive and kill it, that's game changing. Now you want to get vehicle and attack and armor if you want to beat Broodlords with Thors.
Our
All right, we're just gonna go across the map. He's triggering me now. He's not fighting me where I want him to fight me. Some sort of try-hard virgin that enjoys winning games. So we're gonna go across the map and just base trade with this whole army. This is the joys of using siege tanks, guys. It's kind of on them to come and fight you, and you gotta try and make them want to do it, which unfortunately they never do. Oh, actually, I'm gonna just siege up here. Because notice his army's not pushing in anymore, guys. So I think he's coming to try and fight here. Oh! We're trying to pull back, but he's walking into enough tank splash that I think I'm allowed to eat these fungals. I F2A moved just there, by the way, guys. That was a video game. Holy crap. Fungaloo. So if you guys struggle with microing the drops, you could also use liberators, as sometimes a lot of people find easier. In the late game, just queue liberators onto all the edge bases, and that's really hard for the Zerg to deal with, and it allows you to do some more stuff. But one of the big problems we had this game is we just let him spread a bit too much creep on the left, number one. We took a bit too long to start pressuring actively because I was talking you guys through the macro, number two. And number three, I forgot I saw roaches earlier in the game, so I was building Widow Mines when swapping to siege tanks would have just made my life a bit easier. I probably could have done it with Widow Mine play if I was willing to commit to it, but I think we want to show you guys the easier way of doing it, and I do believe playing siege tanks makes your life easier versus roaches than trying to play Widow Mine. I think throwing away the aliens was a mistake, says Bulio. I think the bad macro behind the aliens was probably a bigger issue, to be fair. So before you go in with the Hellions and the Libs, you want to queue up as much macro as possible. And whilst I think I might have queued up SCVs okay, I didn't really have anything else building on the correct time necessarily. So I think they did a lot of damage. I think it was definitely worth diving with the Hellions. And I think you always want to dive with your Hellions until you get super advanced with this build. And the reason why I think you always want to dive with your Hellions until you get super advanced is it just simplifies your focus. So it's like, okay, we just micro those Hellions in while the Liberator's being a big bag of dicks in the back. You know, this butchers the Zerg's economy, and as much as they have the freedom to re-drone after that, we should be in a really good spot. I think committing to that one short bout of APM and then macro is good. Just remember, build Hellions rather than Widow Mines as your first few units to help secure your third base if you feel you need that. And that's pretty good, man. How you doing, Saundo? If you just... It's actually on my YouTube. If you search best sandwich in the world, Pigstarcraft, it should come up. Fucking top tier content, mate. Top tier content. So obviously we have a massive economy advantage here, but I just took a very long time to turn that into aggression. And Killer Bee did a great job of droning back up very quickly, injecting, adding upgrades, and spreading creep in the midst of it. So really well done, and great fungals by Killer Bee. Superb fungals. We went for a double drop down the right. We could have gone straight in the main if we wanted. Maybe found more damage if we did that, but I was expecting a fourth base over here. So I was kind of hoping I'd cancel that. Cool. But just remember, guys, second factory, fourth command center, and then 3 more barracks is the play. You want to get tech labs on those barracks to up that marauder production. And keep those upgrades rolling. And you should be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, this fight was questionable for me, guys. This was a really good one for Killer Bee. Look at these fungals. I'm kind of spread out. Killer Bee is like, not enough, buddy. That was a sick engagement. Really well done. It was also just before 2-2 finished, so a really bad time for me to fight. What I should have been doing at that point is keeping most of my army defensive and just had a drop on the left and a drop on the right to buy time so that I could try to get into tank production. Zerg's probably my best race, says Killer Bee. Yeah, I was surprised how well you macroed, dude. I was like, oh, this is pretty good macro for a random player. That was my favorite, though. That was a bit of a... I would have lost so many Marines if those fungals landed the way they were meant to. Man thought they were devourers for a second. Killer Bee's like, yes! Devourers! Oh, you meant to bile. Ah, okay. I thought you meant to fungal there. I was like... What's it called? Shroud? Dark Shroud, right? I think Dark Shroud. It's the Brood War name. Yeah, if the Zerg's very aggressive in keeping you pinned, guys, more and more, spread tanks across your bases, spread your army out, and just keep sending drops and liberators across while continuing to add upgrades. And as long as you prepare, like I said, double armory mech upgrades so you can build a whole round of Thors. Thors do really well versus Broodlords. They can be countered by Neuroparasite, but if you're up against someone who's playing Broodlords and Neuroparasite, well, holy heck, you're probably in Masters League, if not above that, you know? Whereas like Killer V was really good with the Infestors, but the Hive was super duper late, right? And you're usually going to see that. Players only have so much of a skill set, you know? We all know our own limitations. We got to remember our opponents tend to have pretty severe limitations as well. GG's.